I refused to let my sister bring her kids to my wedding. And now my entire family says I've destroyed everything. I'm 32, getting married later this year. My fiancé and I decided early on that we wanted a child-free wedding. Nothing personal. We just wanted an adult atmosphere with alcohol, speeches, and honestly, less chaos. Everyone seemed fine with it, except my sister. She has 3 kids under 8, and when she got the invite, she called me immediately and asked where the kids' names were. I explained politely that we were keeping it child-free, but we were happy to help arrange babysitting or even help cover the cost. She lost it. She said I was excluding her family and that her kids are part of me, whether I like it or not. I tried to compromise. I offered to let her bring the kids to the ceremony, but not the reception. She said that was insulting and refused. A week later, my mom called saying my sister was considering not coming at all, and that I should stop being selfish for one day. That hurt. My fiancé is fully backing me, and honestly, it's our wedding. But now extended family members are messaging me saying weddings are about family and I'm causing drama. Last weekend, my sister posted on Facebook about how some people forget where they came from when they get engaged. She didn't name me, but everyone knows it's about me. Now half my relatives are taking sides, and I'm starting to wonder if standing my ground is worth potentially losing my relationship with my sister. So, am I the arsehole for refusing to let my sister bring her kids to my wedding? Be honest. Would you stick to a child-free wedding rule? Or should family always come first?
I told my mother-in-law she's not allowed to have a key to our house. And now she says I'm trying to destroy her relationship with her son. My husband and I bought our first home together 6 months ago. It was a huge milestone for us, and we were really proud of finally having our own space. My husband is very close with his mom. They talk almost every day, and she's always been heavily involved in his life. I never really had a problem with that until recently. When we moved in, my mother-in-law started visiting pretty often. At first it was helpful. She'd bring food, help us unpack, and check in to see how we were settling. But slowly, the visits started happening without warning. She'd show up early in the morning, let herself into the backyard, and knock on the windows if we didn't answer the door quickly enough. She also started rearranging things inside the house because she said she was helping us organize better. It was starting to feel like we didn't have privacy in our own home. The breaking point came when she casually mentioned that my husband should give her a spare key, just in case. I told my husband I wasn't comfortable with that. I said I wanted our home to be our private space and that I'd prefer visits to be planned. He said he understood, but also didn't want to hurt his mom's feelings. A few days later, my mother-in-law brought it up again directly to me and said she deserved a key because she's family and might need to help us in emergencies. I politely told her we weren't giving out spare keys to anyone and that we'd rather she call before visiting. She got extremely upset. She accused me of trying to push her out of her son's life and said I was controlling him. She also told other family members that I was being disrespectful and ungrateful for everything she's done for us. Now family gatherings are tense, and my husband feels stuck in the middle. He agrees with me privately, but says I could have handled it more gently. I don't want to damage their relationship, but I also want to feel comfortable in my own home. So, am I the arsehole for refusing to give my mother-in-law a house key? Should parents ever have unrestricted access to their adult children's homes?
I uninvited my dad from Thanksgiving because of his political rants. And now my family says I've gone too far. I'm 29, and my family has always been very close. Holidays were a big deal growing up, especially Thanksgiving. But over the last few years, things have changed. My dad has become extremely vocal about politics. Every family gathering turns into a debate. It doesn't matter what the original topic is. Food, work, relationships. Somehow, it always circles back to the state of the country. At first, I tried ignoring it. Then I tried changing the subject. Then I tried setting a simple boundary. No political talk at family dinners. He agreed, in theory. But last Thanksgiving, he started making comments about people like me ruining the country because I don't share his views. He didn't name me directly, but everyone knew what he meant. It turned into a loud argument in front of my nieces and nephews. After that, I told my parents that if politics came up again this year, I would leave. My mom begged me to keep the peace. Fast forward to this year. A week before Thanksgiving, my dad posted on social media saying he refuses to stay silent anymore, even around family. So I made a decision. I told my parents I wouldn't attend if political discussions were allowed at dinner. And if Dad couldn't agree to avoid the topic, he shouldn't come either. Now my extended family says I'm trying to censor him and that I'm tearing the family apart over differences of opinion. My dad says I'm intolerant and that families should accept each other's beliefs. I don't care who he votes for. I just don't want to sit at a dinner table and feel attacked in my own home. So, am I the arsehole for uninviting my dad over politics? Should political differences ever cost family relationships?
I refused to split my inheritance with my step-siblings. And now my family says I'm greedy. My dad passed away last year. It was sudden, and honestly, losing him has been one of the hardest things I've ever dealt with. My parents divorced when I was 12. My dad remarried a few years later and gained 2 stepchildren through that marriage. They were both younger than me, and while we were friendly growing up, we were never especially close. I lived primarily with my mum, but I stayed in contact with my dad. We spoke weekly, visited regularly, and stayed pretty involved in each other's lives. Before he passed, my dad made it very clear that his savings and house would go to me. He had a will, and everything was legally sorted. At the time, no one questioned it. After the funeral, my stepmother sat me down and said she thought it would be the right thing to split the inheritance 3 ways between me and my step-siblings. I was caught off guard. I told her I was sorry, but I planned to respect my dad's wishes. That conversation didn't go well. She said my dad helped raise her children and would have wanted them looked after. My step-siblings later messaged me saying they always saw me as family and couldn't believe I would shut them out like this. For context, my stepmother inherited my dad's life insurance payout and continues living in their shared home. The inheritance left to me was separate savings and an investment property my dad owned before their marriage. Still, the pressure hasn't stopped. Some extended relatives say I'm being cold and selfish, especially since my step-siblings are still renting and struggling financially. Others say inheritance is about respecting the person who passed away. Now family gatherings are awkward, and I've been accused of valuing money over relationships. I loved my dad, and part of me feels like honouring his wishes is the last thing I can do for him. But I also hate how fractured the family has become. So, am I the arsehole for refusing to share my inheritance? Should inheritance follow legal wishes or family fairness?